every institution is not open for this kind of divisiveness. General Bakshi,
Exactly.
you heard the professor rattling figures about underrepresentation. He talked about the US Army that has brought in the minorities in the form of blacks and put them at 20% or what have you. Why does this not work for the army, sir?
Look, Rahul, can I make a passionate appeal as a veteran with snow white hair to all these politicians? For God's sake, leave the armed forces alone. They have stood you well. Over the decades since independence, they fought every war and come out with flying colors. Why are you bent upon destroying this institution which has saved the country so far? Is one of the most respected institutions in the country, and we had trenchantly refused to accept the caste system. We had trenchantly refused to accept any reservations, any quotas in the military. We had said the only criteria is merit. You are physically fit, you shoot straight, you come in. We have got open arms for you. When I joined my regiment, I was told, keep your bloody caste, your creed and any other sub-nationalistic tendencies outside the unit door. Otherwise, we will kick you out. Right? हम सब भारतीय हैं. We are all Indians in the Indian Army. And we do not want to get in this pernicious disease of caste and creed. Is caste an Indian word? It is not. It comes from the Portuguese word casta. There was no word in the Indian language called caste. The British, Herbert Hope Risley, that so-called census commissioner, you know what he said?
Yeah.
As long as there will be, as long as there is caste, there will be no India. The prime fault line they used to make Indian fight against Indian to divide et impera, divide and rule was caste, man, caste. It is 75 years after independence, you still can't get rid of it.
Says General
You can't get a national identity, pan-Indian identity.
Well,
you must create these divisions now within the armed forces.
Doctor.
Leave the armed forces alone. Can I beg of you? Leave us alone. God damn you if you can't do any good to your armed forces. You didn't get us the Rafale. You didn't get us the weapons and equipment that we needed. Can you leave us alone?
Okay.
And not go, berserk with your caste.
Okay.
It is
Dr.
destructive
Ranganathan,
of national identity.
this is a passionate cry from a person who's taken a bullet, from a person who has lost loved ones. He knows what he's talking about. He served this country with distinction. This is General Bakshi we are talking about. Doctor.
Rahul, I am blessed to belong to a country that has heroes like General Bakshi. So thank you, sir, for defending us and saving us in no small measure. Let me come to the topic straight away. Rahul Gandhi, and I say this with all responsibility, is the male version of Arundhati Roy. In fact, the resemblance is uncanny at all levels, if not absolute. Because it was Arundhati Roy who claimed that right-wing upper caste Hindutvavadi's army, Indian army, was responsible for perpetrating a war against Christians in Goa. When we liberated Goa, according to her, the Goa liberation was actually a war on Christians there. Rahul Gandhi is one step away from saying the same thing. But now I want to come to the other aspect. Everyone's spoken quite rightly about a very important issue. But can I also say this? The evil, diabolical doublespeak and hypocrisy of the Congress and Rahul Gandhi has in some small measure been exposed by my good friend Sanju, that they don't practice what they preach, that they've known for 40 years that the OBC percentage population of India is upwards of 35%, and yet for 30 years of their rule, they only had not more than 2.9% of all cabinet secretaries as OBCs. Why? and Rajiv Gandhi Foundation and so on and so forth. But I want to make an important point out here for people to think about this, especially on this hallowed panel. Please tell me, Rahul, is the job of a scientist or a doctor, and I have tremendous reverence for our armed forces. I love them, I adore them. But is the job of a scientist or of a doctor any less important for the country than the job of a Jawan? The answer has to be no. You look at during COVID when our doctors were on the front line. You look at the war that we have won, Operation Sindoor. It's been won majorly because of Akash system developed by DRDO scientists. Then why, I ask you, is the Congress not clamoring for reservations in the armed forces or higher judiciary, but we have reservation and quota system in DRDO, in medical fields? Why? Is our job less merit based than the armed forces?
Well,
this is a question that everyone has to ask.
Let me tell you.
Why are there two standards?
Well,
why are DRDO scientists subjected to quota?
I need to move on. Yeah. No, so I'll just be very clear, viewers. Wherever there is an opportunity to create some sort of a vote bank, you'll see a bunch of opportunistic politicians land up. That's exactly what this is, viewers. That's exactly what this is, and we unfortunately are blessed with an opposition like this, viewers. And what do we do?